All right, we are now recording. So, hello students, no? Good afternoon and welcome back again to our class. This is 3121 Intro to Philippine Criminal Justice System and this is Miss Malaya teaching. So, hello students, maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. How are you? How is everybody?
Ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon. How was your very long weekend? Kumusta man? Kumusta? Can you see me and hear me clearly?
Yes po.
Very good.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, kay waka exam.
Okay. Sige. So, I have just encoded your grades, no, on your class record. So, if you have any queries regarding your third examinations, yung mga hindi nakatake, so yung, as I promised, you can have your special examinations kasabay ng ating finals because your finals will be next week, no? That is dated March 17 and 18. So thank you very much everybody no for attending this afternoon's class no despite of the rain and the intermittent internet connection. So before I discuss a new topic for this afternoon, I would like to uh, invite everybody no, to tell your other classmates na pumasok na kasi we will have two discussions kasi nga we were not able to have our class last Monday kasi it was a holiday. So, kumusta man ang groupings? How was your groupings? Were you able to meet your group mates and formulate a technique on how you will meet your final requirements po? Were you able to meet your group
Yes,
mates?
ma'am.
Okay, very good. So, since your finals are approaching, that means no, you have to finish also your final requirements, and that will be passed on March 19. That's Saturday. Okay, so I guess no, everybody is fully charged no to attend a new discussion for this afternoon. So can I have a feedback sa ating in-call messages, no? If ready na ba ang lahat na makinig sa ating discussion for this afternoon, can you send hearts po para malaman ni teacher that you are all ready to listen? Very good. Okay, how about the others? Okay, thank you very much for your feedback, students. Send hearts sa ating in-call messages para makita ni teacher that you are all ready and prepared to listen. Thank you very much for your feedback, everybody. So before I start my lesson, I would like to congratulate everybody, no, to your achievement na naman, another achievement which is finishing the third examinations. Natapos na tayo sa ating week 6 to 7 na discussion. So for now, we are going to have a new topic for the week 8 to 9 for your finals, for your fourth examinations. Okay? So since everybody is ready, I will start sharing my screen. Okay? Sige. So, for this time, we are going to discuss no, the week 8 to 9. So, for the week 8 to 9, we have our learning outcomes. No? So, for the learning outcome, letter A, we need to understand how important other government agencies in partnership for the effectiveness of CJS. No, so as we recall on our last lesson, no, for the week 6 to 7, we discussed ending in the corrections pillar. So for now, for the week 8 to 9, we are also going to letter B. Explain the following principles or reasons why we should empower our communities. Kasi nga, our fifth pillar is, ano nga yung fifth pillar natin sa CJS? Students?
Community, ma'am.
Very good. That is the community. So, we need to know kung saan banda ba dapat natin no, pagtuunan ng pansin ang way of accepting back our yung mga convicted natin na people no, when they finish their sentence. So here, no, we have our first topic which is the essence of partnership in the CJS. So we have here democracy. So, ang democracy natin, no, it's the existence of effective democracy in the community is the active participation of the citizens in the process of government. Okay, what do you mean by democracy? Ibig sabihin, lahat ng antas na pamumuhay ng tao should be respected, and then walang dapat na nakataas sa batas. No? Everybody should be um, respected, no? Equally. So we also have here the participation is very much essential, no, as the government grows in size with complexity and elevates the mood of development. People should be aware of the forces that in one way or the other control their destiny. We also have here the people must get to know the business of government. Otherwise, a wide scale of apathy will develop into decay in our democratic vitality and development. So let's explain, no, in a wider form what is democracy. Now, we can we can achieve democracy in this type of the CJS, no, in the community, if alam natin yung ating mga rights. But our rights has certain na mga tinatawag natin na boundaries, kasi nga, no, we are free to exercise our rights, but we have our boundaries for us not to be able to step on other people's rights. So we are in a democratic country, the Philippines. Now, everybody's rights are, or everybody in the whole Philippine archipelago can freely exercise their rights. Now, one of which is if you are convicted, you still have those rights, but some of it are incapacitated to be enacted kasi nga we are in a form of punishment. Okay? So if we do not know our rights, there will be no democracy. No? But if we know our rights, we can achieve democracy. Okay? So let's proceed now. Let's have community. So community is our countrymen need to participate in a day-to-day political affairs of our government wherever they may be. So ang community ay tayong mga tao. We are the community. No? So we are the ones, no, ang nagfo-formulate ng community. And for our PDLs, no, na nakalaya na, so they will not be able to attend to the normal life if we, the community, do not accept them, no? So we need to have new concepts, no, and dimensions, no, which are vital to democracy, no, for the establishment of a great community. Okay. So the substance of development of our NGO, or what we call as the non-governmental organization and people's organization, or the POs, have contributed a lot in the awareness and participation of the people in the governance, which in effect have contributed to the effective delivery of government services. So we also have here, no, the history and experiences. No? So most commonly, there are 4 to 3 pillars. But in the Philippines, we have 5 pillars na ginaagian sa ato ang mga PDL, no? Persons deprived of liberty. Or sa katong mga tao nga na-convict. Okay? So again, our 5 pillars are namely the law enforcement, the prosecution, the court, corrections, and the 5th pillar is the community. Okay, so this is what we address or what we follow as a machinery in the Philippines to address the needs of our PDLs, or to those people that conquered the wrong paths of their lives, no? Yung mga nakagawa ng mga mali sa kanilang lives. Okay? So the evolution in our country reached its climax with the staging of the greatest public participation ever recorded in the annals of history. There is the phenomenon of people power, no, EDSA revolution, where in the twinkling of the eye, a government perceived by the public as totalitarian was changed into a democratic form within a period of 4 days without bloodshed. So I do believe that some of you are aware of the EDSA revolution, no, the people power. So that was to to make the Marcoses get away from the government, no? But what happened to the people power that happened na nangyari? Mas napalakas ang NPA ng mga panahon na yun. Kasi nga, they were against the Marcoses because they are against the CPP-NPA. Pagkatanggal ng mga Marcos, anong nangyari is that mas napaiting, mas napalakas nila ang mga CPP-NPA. So that started, no, the revolution of the people, wherein ang connected is ang community. So the people in the community has greater power when they come to or when they consummate one action. No? Ganun ka-powerful ang community. Okay? Yes. That's because when we got our independence, we also got our democracy. Kasi nga, malaya na tayo, di ba? Wala na yung nagagunit sa ato nga other nga nationality. Okay? So, yes, no? So, in a democratic country, everybody's say is acknowledged. No? So, lahat ng mga sinasabi ng lahat ng tao, ginadawat yan siya. No? Despite kung correct ba na siya or wrong ba na siya, because we have the right and the freedom to express our own feelings. Yes? Question? Okay. Sige. So the people's power in the Philippines has become a model in East Germany and Soviet Union in dismantling their totalitarian government. In the Philippines, Germany, and Union was able to transform their governments and make a virtual change in its political landscape in a matter of days. How much more if people in its government should join hands together to fight and prevent crime not to happen, but the big question would be how. So it's very important, no, to for the community to participate in accepting back those people who just got out of their prison. Kasi nga, if we, the community, do not accept them as whole, anong mangyayari is that they will still try to commit crime again. Kasi nga, we're not able to give them the sustainability of living by the means of giving them work. Kasi nga, some of the mentalities of these um, people, no, na, for example, mag-apply ang isang PDL, they'll be afraid kasi nga, nanggaling na sila sa preso. And they're not really sure if that person will do their job correctly, honestly, baka magka-commit naman siya ng crime again. No? So it's very important, no, that the community should work hand in hand with the government. Okay? So that is the end of 3121 Intro to Philippine Criminal Justice System. And this is Miss Malaya teaching. So that's the part 1 or the first part of our lesson. And now we were going to proceed, no, with the part 2. So for the part 2, this is still a short lesson, no, for everybody. Okay? So since I am done with part 1, do you have any questions or clarifications before I proceed to the next presentation? Okay lang ba? Are you still here with me? Okay, I can see, no, there are 43 students who are present, no? Congratulations kasi nakapasok kayo. No? So I acknowledge our 43 students who are on board. Okay, can I proceed now to the next lesson? Okay
Yes,
lang ba?
ma'am.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your feedback, student. Okay, so for now, we're still going to discuss, no, the week 8 to 9, but this is for the part 2, the second part of our lesson. So this is still a short presentation, no? So I guess everybody is ready to listen to another topic, no? So that was just a short brief, no, yung part 1 natin, no? Short, very short discussion lang yun siya. So let's have part 2. Okay? So can I have a reader who would like to read the first presentation for the part 2? Sinong gustong magbasa? Anyone? May gusto bang magbasa sa presentation? Yes, Marlo, go ahead.
Community, mutual cooperation and support or the public's participation and cooperative vis-a-vis with law enforcement is the primary requirement to answer the above question. Since the police constitute the first line of defense in the peace and order, they are one in the constant contact with the public. Crime must be construed more as a community problem rather than a police problem. It is important to have an accurate understanding of what is meant by community involvement in the democracy in the context of policy.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much for that, student. Now, again, no, yung last discussion natin, we have read, no, that there should be a mutual cooperation between the public or the community and also the law enforcement or the government, no? Kasi nga sa community magsisimula ang lahat at sa community din magtatapos ang lahat. So what do we mean by this? All right. So, 'di ba, yung law enforcement natin ng mga officers, they are the first pillar. Now, how can they know and how can they have ideas if what specific areas, no, yung mga crime hotspots natin, no, saang mga lugar ba yun? How will they address it? No? So, paano nila malalaman ang mga ginagmay-gagmay nga mga actions or mga panghitabo sa community if wala tay intel nga gikan sa public or sa community? So, kung naay mga problema sa mga komunidad, sa mga purok-purok, barangay-barangay, no? Makabalo atong law enforcement pillar ana if musulti sa ilaang nasa community. Mauna, if kamo pukon, law enforcer na mo, or naabo mo sa tri-bureau, no? Amiguhon jud ninyo nang mamaligyag balot, tiktahig sapatos, mamaligyag mani, kana. Kaya nga naman, they have all the knowledge kung saan mga nangyayari dyan. Kasi nga, ilahan ng teritoryo, ang pulis, wala na kabaloon sa mga know-abouts din ha. Okay? So sila ang mas na-idea. Sino ba yung mga, ano ba yung nakukuha nila, di ba? Sa mga, kanang kumbaga ba, kanang, kung ato ang inistoryahon nga, kanang tambay. Yes, those informations, no? Natay dagang makuhaan ng mga tambay. Kaya nga naman, maski gatambayan na sila, daghan na sila chika. No? Mura sila mahulog nga, marites, but with a
Asset.
purpose. Yes, they can be also an asset. No? Nagbibigay sila ng information sa ating law enforcement ng mga officers. Paano ba natin malalaman kung drug din yan? Kung saan laganap yung drugs? Saan laganap yung mga palitan ng mga nasa black market? Di sa community. Kasi yung mga normal na tao na yan, may mga sakto na silang kaalaman. No, that it could help our law enforcement officers to prevent the crime. Okay? So if dili close ang police at saka ang public, there's nothing to get. So, anong ginagawa ng police? Police, omnipresence always, no? Na kanang pagpakita jud ang police sa publiko kay parang naa sila mapangutana, na sila i-question, matubag sila, naa sila mahatag nga idea. Okay? So, kumbaga pod no, malesen nato ang criminalities na nangyayari. Kasi nga, the police are present in the community. Okay? So, ang crime natin, no, it's more of a community problem. Okay? So, problema yan. Kasi nga, one of which na factor natin, di ba? Magiging isang kriminal ang isang tao if one of which is nasa criminal tendencies. No? So, it's very important that ato ang community should be in a good environment. Paano natin mahahanap ang mabuting environment if dili ta mismo ginaatiman sa mga leader sa community. So if si leader sa community kabalo siya nga kanayahang purok diha or barangay, no, rampant dira ang drugs, ang illegal mga butang, so yan din na siyang itugan sa law enforcement. So para maaksyonan so that specific environment should be renewed. Para ang mga tao dito nga environment dili na magbuhat og mga dili maayong nga butang. Okay? Okay, so the police would have to disabuse their minds whatever false conception of the public participation they may have. They should look at the public, not so much just an agency for the implementation of its predetermining policies, but also a component in a partnership for the formulation and implementation of policies. Now, what does this mean? Okay, na yung ating mga kapulisan, there's some tendencies that they'll look above for themselves, okay? Taas ang paningin nila sa kanilang sarili kasi nga they're men in uniform, but they must not do that in order to gain the trust of the community. Okay, saan ba natin pinapatupad ang mga laws sa community? We cannot fully implement those laws if ang ating kapulisan or ating mga uniform personnel is not approachable and is not good enough, no, nga mahadlok ang mga tao nga kanang mukumit og crime. Okay? So, kinakailangan always, no, yung PNP natin, kinakailangan they should be on their foot. Okay? No? Kanang humble, kumbaga. So that atong community po dili mohadlok mo approach sa ato ang uniform personnel. Okay? So the public, in line with its being a pillar of the CJS, has to have its input at the policy level. It would be easier for the public to accept and implement programs which they feel to be their own and adapted to their needs and not just a product of proverbial ivory tower approach. So public participation should seep into all levels from the barangay up to the national level. So this is what I am talking about. If your purok chairman knows there are drug dealing na mga nangyayari or drug dealing participations in your purok, kinakailangan hindi yan i-tolerate ni purok chairman. No? So anong gagawin ni purok chairman? Magsusumbong siya kay barangay. Now si barangay needs to go to the local government unit, which is the mayor's office, di ba? And then, if ma-implement na yan ni mayor, kasi nga meron naman tayong chief of police ng ating city or municipality, okay? So what will happen? So magkakandak sila ng, it's either raid, it's either, no, nga kanang patukhangon nila or ilahang pakuanon ba? Di ba? So magsa-start ang discipline, no, within pa lang sa lowest level, no, in the community, which is the purok and the barangay. Okay? So the police, public relations, or the should include, no, operational contact. Often the work of the community relations, no, department in the police force does not include community-based strategies through operational contact. So community relations without successful operational contact means that the public pronouncements are not much with accomplishment. So, yung ating kapulisan, no, nasa ginatawag nga kaning police public relations, no? I do believe na amoy subject nga in line with this no sa law enforcement ninyo on your future courses. So again, I am very excited for everybody no nga maka-attend ana nga course because that would be very interesting if you really wanted to be a part of the organization, no? So dito ana hasaon kung what are the best ways no to communicate no to the community in a simple and not demanding way. Okay? So kinakailangan when you try to communicate to the public, no, kinakailangan humble jud. So mo lang na akong maingon no nga dapat humble lang jud. So dili ta magpakaaron ingnon nga we are in uniform, we should be respected. Okay? So ang sasabi ko lang that everybody no should be treated as much as possible equally. Okay? Kasi pare-parehan naman tayo kahit nasa uniform o nasa sa isang uniform organization, we're still people with the same rights. Okay, kaya lang, ang kanilang duty, naatasan lang sila na magpatupad ng ating mga law. Okay, mga batas. And if someone did not follow the laws and regulations of the community and the peace and order, they should be apprehended. And all of those things na sinabi ko sa inyo ha, whether it be with a virtual warrant or without a virtual warrant, you should always respect those people. Okay? Sabihan nyo ang kanilang mga rights and all. Okay? Kung walang lawyer, bigyan ng lawyer. No? So, lahat ng na-discuss natin from the very first week, no? I-apply nyo yun sa real McCoy or sa real world in the near future. Okay? So the success of a police officer as a reference point, nor the community thinking in action depends on the range and quality of his personal contacts with the community leaders and members in their organization. With the adequate contacts, he can anticipate and refuse potential challenges, no, to peace order without overreaction, an act of which often leads to charges of oppression and brutality. No, so matingala mo, some of the police officers, no, they are in cooperation with the barangay chairmans, purok chairmans, the city mayor, kasi nga they're trying to go to the community kasi nga that's one way na malalaman nila kung anong problema. Okay? On what strategies will they do? Okay? So, hindi sila masya-shock na, ay, nanadali mga drug addicts diri. Ay, hala, longga na diri siya diri sa mga kuan. Ay, hala, kuan, ani dani siya. Okay? And on which, no, if they are pretty familiar with each other, no, with the community, with our police officers, no, they'll be able to act swiftly, no, kanang sakto, pero kurog jud ang mga kriminal. Okay? Kaya na naman sila prior intel. No? Na sila prior knowledge kasi nga na sila mga nag-info sa ilaha. No, in which ang community mismo ang nag-info sa ilaha. Okay? So, let's proceed to the next one. Through interaction, violence can be pretended or prevented. For example, a militant marches and rallies, which could be effectively stewarded by community leaders with a minimum police presence. No? So, on your higher courses again, on your specifically third level, no, you will have a subject with dispute resolution and crisis management. You also have law enforcement with crime mapping, no, that will incorporate the rallies and demonstration. If kasi nga if there are somewhat like rallies and mga demonstrations, no, ang gagawin natin diyan, hindi makikialam ang pulis niyan. They're just there to protect, to maintain the peace and order. Dili na sila mangnumbag, mangbukbuk og batuta. No, bawal yan. Always apply maximum tolerance. As I always mention, to all my students, no? Hindi pwede yung basta-basta ka na lang dyan nga mangulata, no? So, in line with it, if some of the leaders, they know the leaders of that rally or demonstration, then they can have talk, okay? They can have a talk in which they can address, no, ano yung mga dapat na boundaries ng rally nila. Okay? So, sa kadami-dami nyo mag-rally, imagine that, no? Dili nimo na ma-please tanan ang tao nga na-attend sa rally. But, equivalent to those people is their leader or the community leader. So, pwede mo mapagsabihan ng leader nila, ma-approach mo na, okay, sige, ganito lang gagawin natin. Since nag-rally kayo, sige, papayagan namin kayong mag-rally. But, kinakailangan, wala tay mga pasakit na buhaton. Bawal maglabay-labay, bawal ta magluwa, bawal ta ka ng mag-violent ng mga reactions nato. Okay? Or violent actions no towards other people, towards civilians, towards the police officers, no? So, ang kakausapin nyo yan is the leader, not those people who are in a rally kasi hindi yan makikinig sa inyo, no? Kasi nga they are there to express their feelings, to protest against something. So, para makontrol ninyo ang community is makikipag-usap kayo kay community leader. Kasi si community leader, they're well respected by their subordinates. Kanay ang mga under sa community. Pwede si barangay chairman, barangay captain, purok chairman. No? So kung asa sila nga locality na tinatawag na to nga nag-rally. So the Philippines has an effect acknowledged the new perspective of policing wherein there has been an overhaul of priorities and recognition in police policing. The power to prevent must be recognized, crime prevention of delinquency and breach of peace, which have all the potential of violent crimes. No? Delinquency pa lang, no? Isang bata. No? So, yung mga kabataan natin, they're called as delinquents. No, you still I know that you still have this subject no on your higher years again, no, juvenile delinquency. So madidiscuss nyo doon yung bakit nagiging kriminal ang isang bata, bakit nagiging delinquente ang isang bata, napapariwara siya na nagkakakommit siya ng crime, ano yung mga exact na punishment, no? Kung nakapatay ba siya, nakarape ba siya, okay? So, doon nyo yan madidiscuss. So, to prevent delinquency, no? First and foremost, kinakailangan natin madisiplina yung ating community. And where should the discipline start? In the purok, barangay, and as well as the individual houses. No? So, if there are delinquent children, may mga delinquent nga mga bata, ano mga badlungon nga bata ba? Sipat-sipat lang. There's a big chance nga pagdako nila mahimo silang kriminal. Nga kanang legit nga kriminal, no? So, bata pa lang dapat atuan na silang i-implicate nga dili magbuhat og mga daotan nga mga butang para dili sila mag-incorporate og mga violent crimes in the future. Okay, so naman tayo mga certain, yung mga rehabilitations, reformations na ginagawa sa ating mga delinquents. So again, no, that will be discussed on your juvenile delinquency na subject. I believe that's to be tackled on your second year, no? So again, no? So chill lang sa, kasi nga makakarating din kayo sa inyong paparoon. Okay, the power of policing is the people and the policing is for the people. Therefore, the people must be made partners in policing. So, paano tayo makakagawa ng mga polisiya, policies, mga batas? Kung hindi natin ibabase sa kung anong kinakailangan ng ating community. Paano natin malalaman kung ano ang kinakailangan ng mga polisiya para ipatupad sa community? Kung hindi natin tatanungin ang community. Okay? So, kaya nga sinabi ko sa inyo that the community has a lot more power, no, than the government. No? So, once kanina magkaisa ang community, then There's a big chance na matanggal jud ang government or kanang matupad ang gusto nga isulti sa ato ang community. Okay? Once it is done in a variety of ways, it provides transparency and accountability to the whole system. Resources which cannot be provided by the police could come from participative policing. No? So there are some facts and what we call those mga intel, no, nga dili siya makuha kung dili gyud ta mangutana sa mga tao sa daplin-daplin. Okay? So some facts are established, no, by doing intelligence, no, some research, but mostly we gather those facts on the people in the community, on their natural habitats. Kasi sila man ang kabaloon sa katikaran, no? So the irritants are factors that can erode police public rapport, which could be propagated through the three areas, namely partiality in enforcement of law, abuse of authority, and a lack of professional courtesy and corruption. So these are some of the factors, no, na hindi magkakasundo ang ating community and ang ating uniform personnel. Bakit? So, abuse of authority is number one in our list. Kasi nga, some of the police officers are overpowering their stand in the community. Most of them really look higher than others. No? They look higher, no, themselves. No? Nga, kumbaga, meron na sila nahimo nga selfish. Kasi nga, nilalook down nila ang nasa community na, ay, sama na siya, oy, nang baligya, managbalot, wako'y labot anak niya. No, lack of professional courtesy, no, hindi na siya gumagalang sa lahat ng mga nakakasalamuha niya sa community, where in fact na mas need natin yung mga tao sa community kasi nga makakakuha tayo ng mga information kung anong mga nangyayari doon. And corruption, no? So, mawawala ang trust ng community once na noted ng ating mga nasa organization is in corruption. No? Graft and corruption, mga corrupt. Some of them matatakot na magtatawag ng mga pulis kasi nga they are corrupt in a way nga kotongan, okay? Na they could plant some drugs, no? So some of the community, no, or some of the people in the community are afraid, no, to 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 approach the PNP or the uniform personnel kasi nga wala silang trust. Nasa trust issues. Okay? So, kinakailangan i-win natin or kinakailangan kunin natin ang trust ng community para mas mapadali na matulungan natin ang community na malalesen ang criminalities. Okay? Wala namang CJS kung walang criminal, di ba? So, we opted to do the missionary of the CJS, no, to help those people who are on the wrong paths of their lives, who committed the crime, to be rehabilitated, to be reformed, to have proper judgment, no, and to be facilitated in a correct facility so that after that they can go back to the community where they belong, and that is where they and what that is their natural habitat, no, which we know as the community where they belong. Okay? So, ang purpose natin dyan, no, hindi natin sila palaton sa presinto. Tarungon na to ilang pamatasan para inigbalik nila sa community. They will be accepted again in a new chapter of their lives. At saka, magkakaroon din sila ng new way of living. Okay? So addressing these deficiencies is not as difficult as it may seem. All it needs are motivation and imagination. A man acts according to motives and creative imagination that projects solutions where traditional reasoning stops. So it's not easy, but with proper communication, proper trainings, ng ating nasa uniform personnel sa ating organization. So, if they are well trained, no, they can also easily get the hearts, no. Kuha na to ang kembot sa community. Okay? So constitutionally sa ano yan? Okay, all men should be treated equally for any discrimination against race, religious belief, social class, economic status, and sex is surely bound to create an unbridgeable hiatus between the police and the public. So, in America, we cite this example kasi nga na sila'y racism doon. Laganap ang kanilang racism. No? Usually, the black lives doesn't matter to them at all. If you are black, you're a criminal. So luckily in the Philippines, we do not have that racism and color, but racism and status, no, in the community, in the society. Once you are some, no, not all, once you are in a politically aligned family, once you are in a socially well family, no, known family in the community, dili ka nila tarugon. But if you are ulay, if you are pobre, if you are not known in the community, if you do not have any connections, then that is where the problem starts. Kasi nga, if you have a lot of money, okay, then they can corrupt you. They can get monetary assistance from you. Na sila makuha nga datong. Okay? But for those people nga pobre, nga wala dyan ika-afford, nga bayad, then you will be unproperly arrested, no? You will be corrupted, okay? By the means of pasanginlan ka, ma-frame up ka, no? So that's where the problem could start. But we have qualifications now in the PNP, no? Na dili lang basta-basta mag-hire og maskin kinsa to be appointed as a part of the uniform forces. Okay? So lahat, no, despite of the status in the community or society, should be treated equally. Okay? So the police must be trusted, protectors and servants of the pluralistic societies and never an agent of the power structure. Their best efforts can be streamed by prosecution and the court system or by penal or subservient judiciary in support of an upright administration of law and justice. So kinakailangan ng ating police officers, they must be trusted by the public. And how could we do that? Or how could the police officers do that? By occasionally be present in the community, by occasionally doing uh, public approaches, no, or kanang mga forums. So makita ninyo every now and then, no, our police officers are always seen, no, on the most public places, no. So para mas napaduol ang loob ng community sa police para dili mahadlok, di ba? Ang mga panghandlok sa bata nga, sige, tutakas pulisun lang, ni pulisun, mahadlok tayo ng mga bata, no? So, dapat wala na to siya nga mindset. Pag makita tag police, we must feel safe, we must feel protected kasi nandyan sila, nakikita natin. Okay? So as long as legal advantage cannot be purchased and as long as unconventional or poorly dressed people receive equal legal treatment, the law and its enforcement officers, the police, the prosecutor, and judge will not appear as oppressors but rather protectors. Okay? So as long as ang lahat ng tao sa CJS pag mag-start sa law enforcement, sa PNP, kasi sila naman ang nag-a-arrest usually, sa ating prosecutor at saka kay judge, no, diyan talaga nagatuyok, no, pinaka first three sa CJS, no, nga diha gyud, no, ma-at stake ang life ni apprehended person or ni suspect kung dili nila talungon og buhat ilang duty. Kung si law enforcement officer nagpataka lang og pang-arrest, si prosecutor wala gitimbang-timbang ang mga ebidensya, si judge, no, nag-abuse siya sa iyang power, no? So sa ilang tulo, no, pinakasugod pa lang kay law enforcement nagatuyok ang kalibutan sa usa ka tao if mabutang siya or maingnan siya nga he or she is a suspect. Okay? So they should be protector of the innocents. No, dapat buhaton nila ang trabaho nila og tarong ug dili sila magpataka ug decide, no, to criminally charge a person. Okay? The police power is an authority of the government. It's a necessary component in the maintenance of law and order. There's nothing wrong with authority. The questions and controversies only arises as how the authority is being exercised, which will spell the difference between alienating or gaining support and cooperation of the community in the peacekeeping efforts. Okay, so it's very important to have our PNP to address, to maintain the peace and order in the community. Now, there's nothing wrong daw with authority. But, mag-a-arise ng ating mga questions, no? Ano man na siya kapag naanay mga bad nga gibuhat ato ang PNP. Pakwan pakol man na siya. Masig isa lang ang nagbuhat og dili maayo, damay jud na tanan ng organization. So if in the future you wanted to be a part of the PNP, you should do your job well, properly, para dili madaot ang image. Okay? So, is everything clear so far? So, may questions ba or clarifications before we end the class? Questions? Hello? Is everybody still here? Or nakatulog na kay kuan kayo ang weather, super cold. Nandito ba kayo?
Apa, ma'am?
Okay, sige. So, thank you for joining today's class. No, that is the end of 3121 Intro to Philippine Criminal Justice System. And this is Miss Malaya teaching and of week 8 to 9, part 2. So, that's the end of our part 1 and part 2 discussion, students. No? So, um, how about, kumusta ang inyong final requirements? Okay na ba? Naka-start na mo og buhat? Naka-start na ba ang
Ongoing.
buhat? Okay, ongoing. So I just wanted to remind everybody, no, again, 2-minute video lang siya. Short video will do para lang kayo nag-a-advertise. Be creative, no? Kung mura lang mong nag-promote sa CJS, no, kung na-assign sa inyo ang law enforcement, ang correction, no, ang prosecution, no, unsay lang ginabuhat, no, just a short clip, no, so that um dili jud ninyo malimtan, no, ang CJS, no, kaya up until your very last moment here in UM, no, you'll still be able to have this knowledge with you, no, on your next succeeding years in near future. Okay? So, any questions bago tayo mag-end? Tomorrow, we will not meet again, no? Kasi asynchronous na naman. Masyadong madali ang panahon kasi Thursday na naman bukas. No? So, questions? If you have any queries regarding your grades, you can see me in office, no? If gusto niyo personally makita yung grades, no? If you wanted to see, no? So, questions, clarifications before we end the class for this afternoon?
Ano na, ma'am?
Okay na? Okay na daw yung si Jonil. Okay? Walang question? So, yung mga hindi naka-take ng second at saka third, please be mindful that I will send it, no, kasabay ng finals, no, as promised. So, make sure na maka-answer kayo niyan. Okay? So, I would like also to remind everybody, no, na mag-attend sa ato ang mga last remaining na synchronous classes kasi nga we only have I guess we only have 3 discussions, 3 meetings, Friday, Monday next week, and then Wednesday. Yes, 3 meetings left before we end the term for this subject. Okay? So if you do not have any questions, no? Everybody, if you are okay with it, can I see your beautiful and handsome faces so that we can take our photo documentation for this afternoon? Quizzes? Okay, so do not worry if wala kayo nakatake na quiz kasi I still have 1 quiz left for everybody to answer. That's your final quiz for my subject. So, you just relax, no? Ay, hala, murag gusto mo kanta si Rude Radolph ay. You want to sing us a song, student?
Ma'am, wala ko, ma'am. Yes,
Sige
ma'am.
na, go ahead. Short song. Gusto niyo mamina sa inyong classmate?
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh, sige, kanta daw kadali, Jud. Sige na, request sila, oh.
Ulaw ko, ma'am.
Ay, nagkaulaw. Oh, sige, 1 minute lang. Sige na, 1 minute, kanta.
Makalang lumaya, halika sa akin. Lamang ang bibig ko, ako'y yakapin. Kaya tahan na, surrender na, kailan mo na aking pag-aralan. Para lumayo ang araw na ikaw. Alam po, ma'am.
Alright, thank you very much for that, student. Clap your hands naman dyan, no? So, very good for that very short performance, no? To uplift the spirits of your classmates. Kaya I know, no, this is just a start of your lessons, no? Maaptan pa dyan gabi, yan eh. So, again, kindly turn on your cameras if you do not have any questions so that we can have our photo documentation for this afternoon. Alright, so as your beautiful and handsome faces, mga gwapo o mga gwapa nga mga ga. Alright, if everybody is ready to take your picture, on 3, 2, 1, smile everybody. Alright, thank you very much for attending this afternoon's class. I hope you've learned something from me. I will see you again on Friday. Puhon-puhon. Goodbye, babush, paalam, and keep safe everyone. You can now leave po.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
God
Welcome.
bless.
Bye.
Ma'am, bye,
Babush.
ma'am. Love you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Okay, sige po.
Ma'am, bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye.